friends, it's Roma. Just wanted to come on today and talk about things that are going on. And we're moving towards the holiday season. Can you believe that October is gone and over with, and we've had trick or treats and handed out the candy to all of the kids, and now it's crunch time, it feels like. And you know, soon it will be Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and oh my gosh, and we're trying to get everything all together and make the house look nice and get out the tree and all of those things. And so today I thought we'd talk about how to coordinate, if you're one of those people that coordinates their holiday gift wrap with your holiday tree or your holiday theme. So we're going to give you some ideas and some tricks and tips on how to have that holiday feeling and infuse your interior design style in that as well, and how to achieve that. So let's talk about it. So one of the things I think we should think about is how you are going to style your gifts, I guess. It is one of the things that I think leads into the gift wrap decor, your holiday decor. Again, I'm not necessarily saying you have to match your gift boxes and your gift wrap to your Christmas tree, which is still a nice look. But I think if you're going to elevate those items, then you should also think about elevating your gift wrap and how you wrap your gifts as well. I hold on to gift wrap and pieces of gift wrap because I think you can reuse it in different ways. So the one year I had, our tree theme was blue, and I had all of the gift boxes wrapped in blue paper, but I cut some of this other blue paper and just hid the seams with it or made bows with it. So there's always different ways that you can use your leftover wrapping paper. I'm sure everyone has done that before, so I'm not telling you anything new. You know, and this is just leftover wrapping paper too, from some gift wrap things that I did for Alexa one year. She liked this. She went to the store and this is what she picked out, and so that's what we used. But of course we had some left over. And so if I have another wrapping paper, let's say if I do an all white box, I can take some of this wrapping paper and either hide the seams or make bows, or do a double wrap where you wrap the whole thing with one solid piece, and then just use this as an accent as you wrap the box. So I'm probably going to end up having to do a gift wrap box video, and that's fine, I can do that. The other thing I do is I always have the strips for the wrapping paper to wrap the gifts, instead of the spool where you're pulling the tape off of the end. So I wear the gift wrap bracelet, which is not in here. It's probably in my office drawer, where you can wear the bracelet and you have the little tabs, and so as you're wrapping the gifts, you pull the piece of tape off of the wrap on your bracelet, and then you can tape the box. Just for me, because it's more convenient. I also use my big island or a large table or folding table to wrap the gifts, because I think it gives you time or room to sort of spread everything out and see where everything is and cut everything and stuff. I really like to get into the gift wrapping part of the holiday. So I make a mess, but it's a lot of fun. The other thing, I think it adds to the level of gift giving that you give. I talked about in one of my other videos some everyday items that are decor items that you can use for gift wrap and how you're elevating those. I also think that Christmas is a time that you elevate your gift wrap. And so there's nothing wrong with a gift bag, and I still use gift bags. Don't give me your eyes, I do. But if you're also elevating your gift, it's also nice to elevate the package that the gift comes in. And so taking your time to make sure that the gift is wrapped well, you add some extra little ornamentation to the gift, different sort of, you know, they always sell the individual ornaments or some other sort of decor or twine or something on the gift wraps. That always makes it nice too. And I know this isn't something that we always think about, but I also know too that the gift wrap part of that is so temporary. I mean, you're wrapping the gifts and they're, oh, and you just tear it up and you're excited to get to the gift part. But I also think it really determines how just the items are decorated, and it brings the feeling of, you know, the style of what you're doing as far as your holiday decor. So just think about elevating that a little more and just bringing that up as you're decorating your gifts. So, one of my other mini talents. This is going to be my jumping off point for what I designed this year for Christmas. And I kind of like traditional Christmas trees. I try not to break outside of the box on some of that stuff. And I guess what I mean by traditional is I don't often design around the color of this year or color of the season. You know, the years that, you know, it was a blue Christmas tree. That was the trendy thing. When we did the blue Christmas tree, it wasn't really trendy. It was just, that's what seemed to be what we liked that year. So that's what we did. And that was, we did that in Colorado. And this year, I think I'm gonna just stay with the red, because to me, red is holiday or Christmas. And this is some wrapping paper that we had left over. And I like it. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is the wrapping paper I might use for our gifts, but it just gives me an idea of a color pattern to stay with. And in a lot of ways, that's how you decorate. You pick your hero sort of pattern or color or theme, and then you design everything else kind of around that, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I have this red wrapping paper, and with the red, there's also some gold in here. There's also what you would probably perceive as velvet. And so you could also have some velvet ornaments to pick up on that. One of the things I do add to my trees to give them some different sort of element and texture are picks. And so depending on where these go on the tree, I do have two different kinds. And so this pick is a little smaller than this one. This has a little bit of sparkle to it. They look like cranberries. I guess that's the only other explanation I have for these. And these are similar, but just a little larger. They both kind of have a little sparkle because I like sparkle. Any other way to explain it? I do like that. It also makes the tree, the branches kind of look like they've got some snow or some frost on them, and so that's why I like these. And some years I use them interspersed throughout the tree. Other years I've used these as the Christmas tree topper, because I usually don't use a traditional sort of angel or star or anything like that on top of the tree. That's just not usually what I go for. So that's one of the things I use. And I also think that it makes your tree look a little more full to sort of add those picks and sprays and those elements to your decor. So I use that. This is the box of ornaments that I'm probably going to use this year. Not just this box, but this is one of the boxes of ornaments that I am going to use this year. This is some red, and this is also red, but this is more matte and this is more shiny. But I think if you combine these together on your tree, it just gives it a more, I don't know, collected sort of look. It also gives it your tree a little more depth, and it's not the same sort of finish on the entire tree when you mix it like this. So that's kind of how I do that. And I also have some smaller ornaments in gold, and it's the same sort of finish, where I have some matte and then some sort of sparkle, that sort of finish. I also have jingle bells. And these are just fun. They also make a lot of noise, but I like adding different elements like this to our tree, just to give it some variation. It also, in some ways, you know, jingle bells, it just reminds you of Christmas. And so we did that. And the other thing I also am going to add this year, and I have some of these in another box in the garage, is this coppery color, because I think it just adds a different dimension, a different sort of color to see or view, and it, you know, ties in with the other ornament elements that we're going to add to the tree. So this might not be what's in and trendy, but it's just what I like. And as you know, I tend to do what I like, not necessarily what's in and trendy. I also think the white matches that a little pretty well. I do have some other ornaments in a different box, and maybe I can go grab those too. But it just gives, they are more antique looking, just to give the tree that other more, I guess, traditional feel, old world and collected. And so I mixed some of those in there, just to add that other element of that. And so there's that. And then the last thing I add is sometimes when you're done decorating your tree, at least for me, just because of how I decorate, when I do my tree, I try to leave some breathing room in the tree, where you can actually still see the branches and some of the open areas. So what I do, or have done, or will do this year, is I'm going to add these pine cones. And I also have some picks and sprays that have this element in with the pine cones. And so these pine cones have that coppery color that some of the pine cones, or some of the other ornaments had, and then some of these more natural. And what I tend to do with these is turn them so they're facing out, like they would be growing out of the tree, and I place these inside and just layer them in different spaces throughout the tree. So that just gives you another little natural element to add in there. And these are some of the picks that I have. And these also have pine cones on them and a little paint or frost or whatever to make it look like they have some snow on them. So I add these in there as well. So it's just some different sort of layering pieces, just like you decorate. You start with one layer, and then to make the tree a little more entertaining, I guess, for you to view it, you add different layers, and you add different things that make you want to come in, take a look and see the tree and take a peek and all of those things. So we'll talk about the elements first, and then in another video, you'll have to come back and we'll decorate the tree, and I'll show you how I do that. But this just goes in different areas, again, like I said, that are just sort of open or towards the top. I have some longer ones that can go towards the bottom, but these just sort of hang out with the other elements of the pine cones, just to give you a little more natural feeling where it's not so ornamented, I guess. I'm really sort of, I have a lot of decorations, but I don't think everything needs to go on the tree. That's just how I decorate. I use a lot of different things. My tree is pretty big because our ceilings are pretty tall, but I don't think you have to fill every space where you don't see the branches at all and everything's all ornaments. I try to still show some of the tree and in spaces that are bare, but I want to fill them but still see that these are the elements I do that. It's just like when I decorate a horizontal surface. So you start with one layer and then you add the other layers to sort of fill in the spaces. It's the same way that I decorate for Christmas trees. It's the same sort of process I go through with that. So just wanted to share those elements. And then I think we're going to see what we find as far as Christmas decor out of the house and Christmas wrap, and see if we can sort of bring all those elements together, talking about the gift wrap and Christmas ornaments and those things, and see how it all comes together. So we just pulled up to Michael's, and we're just gonna go in and take a look at some accent pieces or some ornamentation or something that we can add to just Roma it up a little bit. So just looking at the ribbons, I always think that this is a nice little touch to add to a gift in some way. I didn't want to get the wired because I thought that would be difficult to wrap the gifts in that, but just two different, some of the velvet and then some of the shiny, sort of satiny. So I thought we'd do that and then see what else we could pick up. I know that the bow trend is in, again, in certain ways, but I tend not to trend up for Christmas because I always end up thinking that you buy a bunch of stuff and then when the trend's not in, the next year you have a bunch of things that are sort of left over unless you sort of figure out another way to do it. And to me, it's just less things to have to store somewhere. But I did want to pick this up because when you're wrapping gifts and you have those seams on your wrapping paper, I just think that this is a good way to hide the seams. So that's why I picked this up. I saw these, which are sort of similar to the picks we were talking about putting in the tree. And so what I thought is you could add these to your gift boxes, or even if you're doing a gift bag, like if you just wanted to get a plain white gift bag or green gift bag, you could add these to the outside of the gift bag to sort of elevate it and just make it look a little nicer. Because I know some people, that's all they want to do is spend the money on the gift bag because it's easy and you wrap it, or you're traveling or whatever. Because I know one year for Christmas last year for Christmas we went to Disneyland, and so we packed all of our wrapping stuff, but we just did gift bags. And so we put everything in the gift bag, and then this is a nice way to attach that, just to elevate it and make it look a little nicer. Also, I kind of stumbled on these, which also match the gift wrap that we have. And I was talking about the velvet, and they match the ribbons. So I think I'm gonna pick these up too, on these glass element, and just add some of these in the tree, and maybe even tie some of these on a gift. So we'll pick up those too. So I went and also picked up some smaller ribbon just to tie things with. So like I can use this to tie the ornaments onto the tree, or the ornaments onto a gift, or the ornaments onto a gift bag. So same thing. Or if you just want to decorate a little differently with ribbon, you can tie these into bows and hang them on your tree, or make bows out of these and put them on your gifts. So it's just nice to have a couple different sizes of things, just to have a variety of what you might need. So I also thought I'd come and look at gift wrap since I was here, and maybe look for something that might be a little more simple. I like this because, you know, sparkle. Yeah, I do like sparkle. And this is very traditional Christmas. But I do like this too. This is neutrals. Oh, pine cones. Look at that. Since I do have those pine cones on the tree, that would match. And you could still use red with this because it's neutral. And I have the copper. I am the absolute worst when it comes to this aisle of checking out, because I always be like, oh, there has to be something. So we're back from Michael's, and I picked up this brown wrapping paper while we were there. It's not one that I had originally picked up. I guess it was like a white one with some glitter or gold little specks, and I was thinking that was going to be too expected, and so since this is different, and you know I like different, I thought we'd use that. And the red and the brown go together because you have to have red to make the color brown. Red and green make brown. So it does sort of pick up those tones. And these picks are similar to the picks that we are going to put into the tree. So this will tie in with our wrapping paper. I do have this other red wrapping paper that I sort of used as the jump off point, and I might wrap some of the gifts in that as well. And then this is the red sort of ribbon I picked up. This is velvet, and then this is a smaller version of that, just a thinner version. I thought we could either tie, use to tie these bulbs either on some of the gift boxes, or if you still would like to use a gift bag. As I mentioned, it's kind of nice to take some of the picks that you have and tie them on your gift bag instead of just sticking the gift bag, the Merry Christmas or whatever. So if you have a nice white gift bag or a nice paper bag, sort of wrapping paper, sort of butcher paper type of gift bag, and then you add this to the front, it just elevates it a little bit, makes it look a little nicer. So again, this is just the design process, kind of like I go through with everything. I sort of have an idea, and then I go and gather the things that I think I'm gonna need, and then we will come back in another video and I show you how all of these put together make up the gift wrap on the boxes or the bags. And so stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed today's video, of course, go down and like and subscribe if you haven't, and become a new roomie. And as always, I look forward to creating with you.